One might say to themselves, why does a guy at 41 years old who couldn't play against the San Antonio Spurs because allegedly he had a bad ankle and couldn't go? We know what he's really doing, folks. He's waiting to play against lesser opponents so he can stat pad because that's what he does.
Carton didn't hold back, blasting LeBron James over what he described as blatant stat chasing in a win against the Dallas Mavericks. The criticism comes with added tension because LeBron had recently sat out versus the San Antonio Spurs, citing injury concern. In the Mavericks game, the Los Angeles Lakers were already up by 16 points with just 3 minutes remaining, yet LeBron stayed on the floor as he approached a triple-double. Cameras captured him securing a rebound in traffic, a play some argue came at the expense of a teammate, and moments later head coach J.J. Redick called timeout, fueling speculation that it helped preserve the stat line while Austin Reaves was also in position for the board. Carton labeled the sequence embarrassing for a 41-year-old veteran, saying it sends the wrong message about priorities. Supporters, however, view it as competitive instinct and normal late-game management, turning the moment into yet another heated debate about legacy, leadership, and the fine line between winning basketball and chasing milestones.
LeBron James is a fraud. LeBron James, once again, proves that he's a pat-standing clown and should never again ever be mentioned in the same breath as the greats who have ever played this great game that we call National Basketball Association basketball.
Is LeBron James simply obsessed with padding his resume, or is this criticism blown out of proportion? After Carton called him out, the debate has only intensified. Some fans believe LeBron staying in to secure another milestone is proof he prioritizes personal records, while others argue that when you're a living legend chasing history, every possession matters. So what's your take, selfish stat padding or competitive greatness on full display? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
Oh, look at LeBron James, oldest guy ever to have a triple-double. Funny how his ankle wasn't good enough for him to play the night before against the San Antonio Spurs, but in a night when you have no Cooper Flag and the Mavericks are a bad basketball team with half their roster out, LeBron James not only plays, and obviously played very well last night.
Let's break down what unfolded, because the timeline is what fuels the controversy. LeBron James missed a matchup against the San Antonio Spurs, with the official word being ankle soreness and the need for rest. On the surface, that sounds completely reasonable. He's 41, and managing wear and tear is part of surviving an NBA season. But in the very next game against the Dallas Mavericks, he was not only available, he was fully active deep into the fourth quarter. The Los Angeles Lakers were comfortably ahead by 16 points with just over 3 minutes left, a stretch of the game where starters typically sit, especially veterans dealing with injuries. Yet LeBron remained on the floor. Statistically, he was 1 rebound away from a triple-double. The points were secured. The assists were there. All that separated him from another historic milestone and headlines about becoming the oldest player to record one was that final board. With the outcome no longer in doubt, critics argue there was no competitive urgency, only statistical opportunity. And that's where the situation shifts from routine game management to a debate about priorities, optics, and legacy.
Against the Mavericks, I want you to walk me through this. LA Lakers up by 16 points, 3 minutes and change to go. Mavericks miss a shot, and Austin Reaves gets a rebound, and everybody starts yelling at him because that should have been LeBron's rebound to get the triple-double.
Then came the moment that truly set social media on fire. Austin Reaves did exactly what any coach would teach: secure the defensive rebound, protect possession, and let the clock drain in a game that was already decided. It was routine, fundamental basketball. But almost instantly, frustration erupted from the bench and on the floor, because that rebound wasn't just any rebound, it was the one standing between LeBron James and another triple-double. The reaction made it seem like everyone understood why he was still out there with the Los Angeles Lakers comfortably ahead. Instead of celebrating solid team execution, the optics suggested the priority was protecting a stat line. To critics, that exchange painted an uncomfortable picture. A young player punished for making the correct basketball play, also a 41-year-old superstar could hit a milestone in a game that was already over.
After Austin Reaves gets that rebound, J.J. Redick actually calls a timeout. Now I'm thinking they're calling a timeout to get all the starters out of the game, because you're up by 16, 3 minutes to go, the game is a wrap. That's not why he called timeout. He called timeout so that they could tell Austin Reaves, no more rebounds. You stole a rebound from LeBron, and LeBron's not coming out of the game until he gets a triple-double. Because again, It's not about his well-being. It's not about protecting him for a playoff run. It's about stat padding. We got to make sure LeBron gets one more rebound so that he gets a triple-double, and then we'll take him out of the game.
The situation escalated when J.J. Redick signaled for a timeout with the Los Angeles Lakers comfortably ahead by 16 and just 3 minutes left, a point in the game where most coaches typically empty the bench and protect their veterans. In a matchup that was essentially over, burning a timeout raised eyebrows. Normally, that pause would be about rest, substitutions, and avoiding unnecessary risk. Instead, critics believe the message during that huddle centered on one thing: making sure LeBron James secured the final rebound needed for a triple-double. The implication, according to skeptics, was clear: dial back the aggression on the glass, ease up on contested boards, and allow the milestone to happen. To those watching, it created the perception that the closing minutes weren't about finishing the game properly, but about preserving a stat line before everyone could head home.
Not healthy enough to play against the Spurs, healthy enough to play against the Mavericks without Cooper Flagg, and wouldn't come out of the game up by 16, 3 minutes and change to go, until he does what? Until he stat pads, gets the extra rebound, which he stole from Hayes on his own team so that he could get the triple-double. Now let's call another timeout. Let's get him out of the game so everybody can celebrate that at 41 years old, he's good enough to get a triple-double.
Critics see this as a terrible look for everyone involved. LeBron James is 41, reportedly managing ankle soreness, and leading a Los Angeles Lakers squad battling for playoff position where every possession and every ounce of rest matters. In that context, staying on the floor late in a decided game feels risky. The argument is simple: the Lakers need him fresh for the stretch run and, ideally, the postseason. Yet instead of prioritizing long-term health and team security, critics believe the focus shifted to adding another personal milestone to an already historic resume. They also point to J.J. Redick, saying a coach's responsibility is to protect his stars, especially in low-stakes moments. Keeping a veteran in during garbage time, they argue, sends the wrong message that individual accolades took precedence over safeguarding the franchise's bigger goals. Supporters may frame it as competitiveness, but detractors call it a lapse in judgment that blurs the line between legacy building and team-first leadership.
But the reality is this: it was on display last night. You can choose not to see it. You can choose to change the narrative of it.
What narrative?
That was another abuse of stat padding by your self-appointed GOAT.
Craig Carton's critique hits hard because it exposes a pattern that can't be ignored. LeBron James sat out a tough matchup against the San Antonio Spurs, citing ankle soreness, only to reappear against a weakened Dallas Mavericks where he could rack up stats with the game already decided. Critics argue this isn't injury management, it's cherry-picking opponents. Over the years, LeBron has faced repeated allegations of stat padding, staying in blowouts to reach milestones or hunting assists to hit round numbers. What makes this instance particularly eyebrow-raising is the injury excuse: you can't claim you're too hurt one night, then play heavy minutes the next in a meaningless segment of the game. Supporters often point to his age, longevity, and continued elite performance, arguing he's earned the right to chase records. That's true, staying productive at 41 is extraordinary, but it doesn't justify prioritizing personal stats over team success. Even defenders like Tyrone Johnson, who note LeBron played against the Thunder before sitting out the Spurs, only reinforce the perception of cherry-picking games for personal gain. Comparisons to legends like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant make the situation starker. Neither strategically sat out tougher opponents or stayed in blowouts to chase numbers. They preserved team integrity and let their teammates finish games. LeBron has always been conscious of his legacy, but awareness differs from actively compromising team priorities for stat lines. The Lakers, battling for playoff positioning in a brutal Western Conference, need him healthy for critical games. Spending energy and risking injury in a garbage-time rebound chase serves no team purpose, only individual milestones. Meanwhile, first-year coach J.J. Redick is caught in a bind, managing a superstar with unprecedented organizational power who dictates minutes, roles, and presence on the court. This dynamic undermines team structure, accountability, and proper coaching. It's a double standard. When LeBron pads stats, it's framed as history-making and legendary. When others, like Russell Westbrook, did the same, it was deemed selfish and team-negative. Records like oldest player with a triple-double are technically impressive but mostly trivia, unlike career points or playoff wins, which reflect sustained excellence and team success. Yet LeBron celebrates these statistical footnotes with championship-level energy, posting them on social media and fueling endless GOAT debates. Critics argue this constant pursuit of numbers, rather than letting his basketball speak for itself, has turned milestone chasing into a defining feature of his late career narrative. What makes this situation even more striking is how LeBron James celebrates every milestone and positions his longevity as proof of his superiority. Michael Jordan never needed that. 6 championships spoke volumes. Jordan's dominance was unquestioned. He didn't chase volume stats or need constant validation. LeBron's approach, by contrast, leans on statistical accumulation, arguably to offset the absence of 6 rings. Fans defending this behavior are arguably doing the Los Angeles Lakers a disservice. If you want the team to succeed, the priority should be resting LeBron in blowouts, keeping him fresh for meaningful matchups, and focusing on playoff positioning rather than individual records. Yet too many have bought into the idea that his personal milestones outweigh team goals, treating his legacy ambitions as more important than franchise success. The clearest evidence came after the triple-double. The moment he secured that final rebound, LeBron exited the game immediately. If the contest truly required him, he would have stayed. Instead, it was all about the numbers. Craig Carton's critique crystallizes the concern: a 41-year-old superstar choosing stats over competition, cherry-picking easier games, and even taking rebounds from teammates to hit milestones before finally stepping aside. That's not leadership, it's calculated legacy management. For fans craving unfiltered takes on basketball's biggest names, this is a reminder of the fine line between greatness and self-interest.